There we go. You are live. Hey everybody. Hey single moms. Hey. I dropped something on the floor. Hold on. Okay. So, hey, welcome. You know, I'm going to do my little thing here and check and make sure you guys can hear me. This is just one of my things, okay? There's a way to every time I come into this broadcast studio, there's a way for me to check the volume and there's a way for me to check the video. But just me being me, I want to be sure that you guys can hear me and not just be talking and then nobody can hear me. Plus, I gave yeah, okay, whatever. Okay. Um, that's not what I asked you to do. I wanted you to. Thank you. Um, yeah, Facebook's doing its own thing. I asked it to do something and it didn't do it. So I want to check and make sure y'all can hear me. I asked it to do something and it didn't do it. Okay, yes, you can hear me. So that way, if you guys decide to not let StreamYard, which is the platform that I'm using to see your comments, then I could see them over here on Facebook. But mind you, if you're on YouTube, I won't be able to see what you put on there either if you don't allow the platform to see your comments. That means I can't see them on my screen that's in front of my face. I have to look off to the side. I've only got two instruments, but you know, hey, right now, let me just say right now, I've only got two instruments. Or two devices. There we go, two devices. We just gonna leave it at that. You know, we maybe some other devices are gonna show up or some other way for me to see to see both platforms at the same time. So that will show up, or maybe I'll get a production person that does this better than me. But for now, we got it. We got what we got, and we're gonna work with it. So I'm just chit-chatting a little bit just to let people get in. I know people are getting notified that I am on live, so I just wanted to check everything, make sure everything is correct, and kind of sort of go from there. And yeah, so we are here on day one. This is day one of the 5-day Single Moms Challenge. What is the name of this challenge? Oh, it moved my things around. What's the name of this challenge? It is day one of the Loving Yourself Courageously Challenge. It's a 5-day single mom challenge, and I usually do 5 days because it's too hard to get everything all into one day. I know you're single moms. I'm a single mom, and I know that a lot of times getting more than 30 minutes is hard. Especially the younger your kids are, or the more activities they got going on, it will be hard, you know, for I'm going to pull this down some. It'll be hard for you know, you guys to be able to focus on what we're trying to get across here. So Monday's my off day, y'all. I don't comb my hair on Monday. I really don't. I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't comb my hair on Monday. It's, you know, I put all that wildness up in a you know, anyway, hair tie. Put it all up in a hair tie. Put this little thing on. I don't know, turban. I guess you call it a turban on, and call it a day. That's how I spend my day off. I'm not going to do my hair. And that's just something that I do, you know, on my day off, because I'm going around and doing things, and of course my phone is telling me 5 minutes late, trying to remind me that I got a live going on. What the what? But anyway, so this is day one of Loving Yourself Courageously Challenge. It is a challenge for a lot of us single moms to love ourselves. Loving ourselves means that we take care of ourselves internally on the inside with our mind, our emotions, and our spirit, and externally our bodies, what we put into our bodies, um, what we're listening to, what we're watching, all of that, comes together as us loving ourselves. And when we love ourselves better, and love ourselves in a way that makes it possible for us to love others better, it it becomes easier to do, to love other people when we learn to love ourselves. And it takes courage, y'all. It takes courage. um I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell on myself. I'll say I'm gonna tell on myself. So um I used to be one of those girls in high school, all my life, high school, all the way through I'm sorry, I have a friend that's going through a health crisis right now. Um and she was just saying thank you for something. I prayed for her. But anyway, I used to be one of those girls that all throughout high school, all the way through my 20s, which is all the way through my 20s, I was the girl that could eat anything and not gain weight, not do exercise. It just was what it was. I had a very high metabolism. Is what I accounted it to, is that I had a high metabolism. When I sat back and looked at it after I turned 31, and that my metabolism changed, and then I had kids, then I had my first child. I had him when I turned 32. I had my daughter when I was 35 going on 36. So I had my kids late. And so in the 30s, when they say, when your body's doing all these changes, and then I got changes of a baby happening as well, having a baby, and all those things. And my first child was I had a pretty good snapback, and I'm dragging that out because I had to work for that snapback. Um, and I did some things. I wrapped my stomach with the 100% cotton cloth and did all that. But that led to me my ankle swelling and having to keep my feet up and all this other stuff, because it was just crazy. But I had a really good nurse that told me after I had my baby. She told me, she said, if you want your body to go back to the way it was, drink one of the big liter bottles of water. She did tell me to wrap my stomach, put a girdle on. I didn't have a girdle, so I just wrapped my stomach with 100% cotton sheet. My mom was a very good homemaker, and that was one of the things she did. She bought very quality sheets, and she did not throw them away. If they got holes or burn holes because she smoked in them, and they got too messed up or whatever, or discolored, she would wash them, cut them up, and use them as rags in the house. So I knew where she kept those rags, the sheets that she was planning to cut up into rags. And because she didn't do it right away either. She was a single mom with two kids. So anyway, I wrapped my stomach. She told me to drink a lot of water. To She told me to drink a lot of water. She told me to do my Kegel exercises. That's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to explain. You might want to look it up if you don't know what it is. But it's an internal, that muscle that you have. That it's the same muscle that when you have to when women have to go to the bathroom. I can't say men, but when women have to go to the bathroom, when you hold it, it's that same muscle that helps you to hold that, to hold your pee. That's your Kegel muscle. So she told me to do my Kegel exercises. It's an internal thing. I happen to know how to do that. Um, and she said, do your Kegel exercises. And then she asked me, of course, if I was breastfeeding. That helps too, because that actually contracts that same muscle. When you breastfeed. So I did those things, but I also did a lot of walking. I did sit-ups. I did a whole lot of stuff, changed my eating habits, because even though I didn't have any problems with gaining weight or losing, or yeah, gaining weight, and had a very high metabolism the majority of my life, up to my 30s. Um, uh, I wasn't eating well. I was eating whatever, because I could. And so I was in the habit of doing that, but I didn't want to teach those habits to my children. So I changed my eating habits. I stopped eating a lot of fast food. I started cooking more at home. I started implementing and eating my vegetables. I started eating breakfast. I had never been a breakfast person, but I started eating breakfast because I read in that book. You know what book I'm talking about? What to finish the sentence. You know what I'm saying? What to expect. Y'all know that book. So I read that book. For me, and with me having my first child, I know that it is different than then when you see somebody with a child and you're aware of some of the things, Charles. Hey, Imana, thank you for coming on and watching live. And thank you to anybody that's on YouTube watching live or watching the replays, and the people that are in the Single Moms Club watching replays. I just wanted to say thank you for that. And thank you for sharing, and thank you for liking. Thank you for giving your biggest takeaways so that we can continue offering you guys these challenges. And I know that challenges are the word challenges probably freaks you out a little bit. You know, as single moms, we have enough challenges, let alone go walk into a challenge on purpose. But challenges come to make us strong and to help us to make to help us to make not hard, but help us to make changes. They help us to make changes. So when we face our challenges head on, we can make changes faster. So here's what we're talking about today. So this is day one of the Loving Yourself Courageously challenge. And the courage is, um, as I was saying, talking about myself when I was younger, is to meet myself when I was back then, when I was younger, myself as I was when had my kids, and then myself now, and then myself in the future. So there's four selves that have to come together and be okay with each other. Be okay with each other. That's how things were back then. Things have changed and the change happened over the time period that I was raising my kids. I have a young adult, and then I have another a teenager that's about to become a young adult in a few months, um, and a grandchild. That's 6 months. So, but that's all change. Having kids it forces change, and if we don't change with them, then it will become very hard. We can fall into thinking that will keep us down and keep us focused on the wrong things. This is all part of us loving ourselves and recognizing what's happening in our lives, what's happening in our lives. And then, of course, if we need help, do not be ashamed to get help. We have to think about how we're talking about ourselves, how we are taking out time for ourselves. Um, we have to protect the boundaries that we put in place. Those boundaries are for us, not for the other person, but for us. But a lot of people, when we put boundaries, for some people that are not a positive influence to our being, our self being, our self worth, our mental health, whether they be friends, family, work associates. Although sometimes if you work in a small space, that's hard to get away from them. So you really have to do what you need to do to keep your mind straight. Even if you have to go to your car and have lunch, go drive to the park and have lunch, go out to eat lunch someplace else, just to get a moment, because somebody might be having a personal crisis is usually what it is, that the person that's causing the most disruption at work is having some type of personal crisis, and it's starting to come out and leak out into their work environment. Um, and they usually are not aware of how much they're affecting other people. But that's still, again, back on this day one of us taking care of ourselves personally. So, personally, we need to take care of ourselves. We need to check in with ourselves. We need to check in with ourselves. And so, basically, that's just a hey, am I okay? Get in a spot where you're quiet, turn your phone off, no TV, and ask yourself, are you okay? You don't have to say it necessarily out loud, but you can say to yourself, am I okay? Maybe you journal it out and ask yourself, write the question out, am I okay? And write down everything that's bothering you, you know, write down everything that's bothering you. And a lot of times, just that brain dump of all the stuff that's running through your head will free up space for you to be creative, for you to love yourself, so that you can love your children better, so that you can love your extended family better, love your friends better, love your customers that come in where you work at better, love your your coworkers better, so you can just show up better in every relationship and your whole entire sphere of people that you're a part of and that you have some type of effect on. I think what it is that most of us as single moms feel very lonely. We feel very lonely. We feel like the experience that we're having, nobody else has had that. I want to tell you right now that that's a lie from the pit of hell. You are not the only person. We are not the only person going through whatever trial or challenge it is that's come our way. Single motherhood has a lot of similarities from one single mom to another single mom. Of course, there's a lot of things that are different because it may be different types of where you live or what your circumstances are or what's going on or even how you became a single mom can be a challenge as well. And the thing is that we have to accept our single motherhood and own that assignment. We have been assigned the assignment of being single moms. It is not a punishment. It is not it's not something that we should be ashamed of. Things happen in life. Things happen. However, we became single moms, whether we broke up with the baby daddy, we never got married, however this came about, know that give yourself some grace and forgive yourself if you made a bad decision. Just know that if you made a bad decision, that doesn't make you a bad person. And so I found that out through a counseling session that I had a couple years ago with my daughter. That when me and my daughter both went to a counseling session separately, and I found that out through that counseling session that making a bad decision does not make you a bad person. The decision was bad. You're not bad. And for me, I was like, that was like a switch in my mind. I was like, oh, I'm not a bad person. I am a good person. I can make good decisions. I just need to, put some things in motion and put some habits and habits and what is it? Habits and routines. There we go. Habits, routines, and in place so that I can do better, think better, work out situations and challenges that come out in my life better, and not go into a complete freak out panic because of something that somebody told me or has consistently told me in the past that I was doing something wrong. And so I took that as a personal thing that I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm a mistake. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not this. I'm not that. I took all that, and that's not true. That's just flat out not true. That's false evidence appearing real. A lot of people outside of us and outside of our household will have a whole lot to say about how we should raise our kids, what we should be doing. And it's always a you should, you should, you should, you should. you ain't at my house. You don't know what's going on. Because we don't tell everything to everybody. We usually share certain things with certain people. And it's never usually everything because we never want to put everything on one person and burden somebody with all of that. We usually tell who we feel comfortable with, whatever it is that we tell them about whatever part of our lives that we want to share with them. It helps to have people that are receptive. It helps to have somebody that just listens. It also helps to have somebody that doesn't force their advice on you, but when they say their advice, they just say it and don't jam it down your throat, and then expect you to do it their way. And if you don't do it their way, they got a problem with it and they keep coming at you. Those people need some boundaries. And we have to set those boundaries because we have to show people how to treat us. I've learned that from what Iana Von Sant, how to treat us. And that's one of the books that's actually in the Single Moms Level Up, not Single Moms Level Up, but the Single Moms Club. There are some books that are pinned up in the features that are through Audible, and I believe I've got them in there as a free read, so you can read that book for free. And it's on Audible. Audible has become my friend. In 2020, that was something that I was listening to in 2021 for sure. I put it on my phone, and so I could listen to it as I'm driving to wherever I'm driving to. But Audible became something that helped me through 2020. I was able to read a lot of books that way, and yes, I keep them, and yes, I do sometimes reread them, because you're driving and not always necessarily paying attention to everything, especially if there's things going on crazy around you where people are driving. But Audible has become a great way for me to gain some knowledge as I'm going to work or from work or running errands, however I want, however I do that. But that's become a very good resource for me, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So being in our personal lives, we need to check in with ourselves. Check in with ourselves, do a self-awareness. Um, self-awareness. Am I okay? If I'm not, am I okay? What's bothering me? Journal it out, through a brain dump, and write the question at the top of the page. Am I okay? And then think about all the things that are bothering you and write them down. That brain dump is an amazing thing. An amazing thing. So I wanted to bring this up. My son's godfather wrote this book called, can you see that? There we go. Trying to get the glare off of it. That's making it worse. All right, wait, well, okay, I think that's it. Saint Ice, Book of Ice, Volume 1, Love is So Cool. So I wanted to read this to you guys, and then I'll tell you about what the single mom. Hi, Shanika Nicole. Thanks for watching live. Appreciate you. So I wanted to read this poem, a couple of poems out of here, and then we'll get going because I try to keep the sessions at 30 minutes because I know you guys don't have a lot of time. And know this, that if you miss a session, they are being recorded. So during this event, which it runs all the way through Tuesday of next week, yes, it's a 5-day challenge. Yes, it's a 5-day challenge. The 5-day active challenge is today through Friday, but I always leave it up Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday I do the giveaway to give some single moms that may, have work schedules or their schedules too hectic to watch every single day, an opportunity to have a chance to win the Single Mom Queen Kit. So I'll talk about the Single Mom Queen Kit tomorrow. I will show you what's in it this month. It's a little bit kind of similar to what was in it last month. Just the things that I have access to have they've downsized. I can't even say revamped, but they've downsized some of the things that they put out, which that I like. So they're a little bit limited. So now it may start looking like things are being repeated, but they're good things though. I can't tell you that. One of the Facebook users said hi, and I'm gonna say hi back to you. Um, but yeah, so I'll tell you about that tomorrow. And but I want to read this poem to you, and this is out of my, like I said, my son's godfather's book that has been published. It's on Amazon. I'll post the link if you want to buy it. I think it's on Audible. I have to check. Oh, no, no, no. He said the audiobook was coming out tomorrow, Valentine's Day. So it's not there yet, but I'll post the Amazon link if you want to get this. These are some pretty good poetry here. So this is his poem 8, and it's called You. Um, I want to get to know you, not just get at you. Let's talk about you. I was like, what? I was like, okay, so let's talk about you. That goes for us too. Mind you, when you read things like this, like a book of poetry, it can have to do with just you yourself, not necessarily you and somebody else, but it's you. What is your love story to yourself? Do you love yourself to the point that you can have a love story to yourself? So we need to talk about ourselves to ourselves. Am I okay? Am I not okay? Do I need somebody to talk to that's not going to judge, or somebody that's outside of my circle, outside of my family? Somebody, do I need counsel? And there's no shame in that at all, in getting counsel. Even if you're a Christian, I'm going to put that out there. Being a Christian and being in relationship with God, you still may need some counsel to work some things out, because the things that we're being bombarded with in this world is a lot, and sometimes we need some help processing that. And there's no shame in that. Having a relationship with God and getting counseling is a good thing. Okay, it's a good thing. Don't freak out about it. It's not, yes, you're praying about it, but you may need to talk it out too. you know uh but um but yeah, so there's that. So I wanted to also read this poem. I might go a little bit over, and I apologize. But this, I wanted to read this too. This is poem 9 from his book, and it's Remember. When I pray, yes, I feverishly pray for a stone unturned strength. Finally, I see it make no conceivable sense to live in the past tense. Yes, it's my tiresome battle. Yes, my tiresome battle is that I stagger, straddle the fence of blissful remembrance while revisiting the riveting pain and strain of my past existence. This is nonsense. Treacherously tormented with the pain conjured by my imagination, thieving thoughts thrusting while I feed my fiendish frustrations, as if experiencing the entrance of an epithet. You express your infallible faith in me and offer the liberty of your libations. Your intentional innuendos have me poised, perched, peeking in your window, going through the mountainous motions, dreaming of us experiencing a climatic crescendo, breathing, heart beating, full tempo, hard enough to make a hurricane billow and blow. As a well cultivated 3-act conclusion, climaxing, collapsing, gleefully gasping for a leak proof, lengthy love that can be sustained beyond the absence of calm during the storm and terror of torrential rains. The raging, roaring, relentless rains rain on the just and upon the unjust, need more than just a rush of sin spawned succubus lust. Simply something I can feel, something I can trust. I'm gonna leave it there because we're almost at the end. But this is what's in this. And then he has in this book also places where he says, write a prompt and express yourself, and try your creative hand at in regards to the bars that he just dropped in his poetry. And then he gives you like a writing prompt. This is a good book to do. So for love, That's something that you can remember yourself, in situations where you were feeling these things, and just writing about it is something that we all need to do. We need to write it out. It is that in itself, it can be great therapy. And I just want you to do this tonight, single moms. Do this. Check in on yourself. Are you okay? Can you, after you do your, write that in on a piece of paper, in a journal, on your, in your notes in your phone? Ask yourself if you're okay, and do a whole brain dump about everything that's bothering you, and then ask you, are you okay with it? Are you okay? Do you need to talk it out? Do you need a counselor? Do you need, are you feeling better? Because I know a lot of times when I brain dump, I feel so much better. And usually I'll take a nap afterwards. And sometimes it's a power nap, sometimes it's an hour nap. And I'll wake up and be so refreshed and ready to go. And then that's what I do with the self care stuff on the outside. You know what I'm saying? After I do the self love stuff on the inside. So we will talk again tomorrow, y'all. Tomorrow will be day 2 of Loving Yourself Courageously Challenge, a 5-day single mom challenge. Again, hey, if you want to have an opportunity to win the Single Mom Queen Kit, you do need to be a member of the Single Mom Club private Facebook group. I will drop the link in the I will drop the link below on a YouTube channel so that you can join. That's a free gift that I give away to the mom that does the most, that contributes the most by sharing, liking, and giving takeaways about what you thought about the session, about even after you've done the brain dump. How were you feeling? Were you feeling okay, or did you realize that maybe what happened with that? Did it enlighten you? Did it get you thinking? Did it help you in any way? Share this with us single moms, because as I said earlier, as single moms, there's often times that we feel very alone, and that we're the only one going through what we're going through as we're going through it. But when we look back after we're out of this situation, we realize we're not the only one going through these situations. There's other people too, but we just need to share our stories, because what we might say may help somebody else, help somebody else as they're going through that situation to find their way out. So see you guys tomorrow. We'll talk on day 2 tomorrow. It's the same place, same time, 8 p.m. Central Standard. Share this with another single mom. Uh, uh, Write takeaways in there, and it'll notify me, and we'll see you tomorrow. Much love. Hashtag single moms level up. Bye. We'll talk about the single mom queen kit tomorrow too. I'll show you what's in it. Have a great night. Okay. Yeah. I'll get it. It's okay. It's not. It doesn't want me to end. It's telling me to keep going. Hello. I say